Hello. This week's Torah portion, Shemot, begins with Ve'ele Shemot Bnei Israel Haba'im Mitzrayim et Yaakov. And these are the names of the sons of Israel who came into Egypt with Jacob. Unquote. Now, the words with Jacob are apparently not needed. Yet the sages tell us that nothing in the Torah is superfluous, so there is a teaching behind this addition. The Midrash says that the words with Jacob are there to tell us that Jacob's children were all as righteous as he was, because he continually admonished them. It then launches into a discussion of the importance of disciplining children. Quotes from the Midrash. We read in the book of Proverbs, Hosech shifto soneh beno ve'ohavo shiharo mosar. He who spares his rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him early. Why does it say he who spares his rod hates his son? Why would he hate him? To teach you that anyone who refrains from chastising his son causes him to fall into evil ways and as a result comes to hate him. Examples are Ishmael, Esau, and King David's sons Avshalom and Adoniyahu. This is what we find in the case of Ishmael, who behaved wickedly before Abraham, his father. But Abraham did not chastise him, with the result that he fell into evil ways, so that Abraham came to despise him and sent him out empty-handed from his house. What did Ishmael do? When he was 15 years old, he began to bring idols from the streets, toyed with them, and worshipped them as he had seen others do. So when his wife Sarah saw Ishmael, the son of Hagar the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, mocking, she immediately said to Abraham, "Cast out this bondwoman and her son, lest my son earn his ways." Abraham hated Ishmael because of his evil ways, and sent him away together with his mother Hagar empty-handed, and expelled him from his house on this account. For otherwise, do you really think that Abraham would do this? What became of Ishmael in the end? After Abraham had driven him out, he sat at the crossroads and robbed and molested passers-by, as it is said, and he shall be a wild ass of a man, his hands shall be against every man. Another example. Because Isaac did not chastise his son Esau, Esau became depraved. As we have learned in the Talmud, on that day when he sold his birthright, Esau the wicked committed 5 transgressions. He seduced a betrothed maiden, killed a man, denied resurrection, rejected the fundamental principles of religion, such as the unity of God, and despised his birthright. Moreover, he longed for the death of his father and sought to slay his brother, as it is said, "Let the days of mourning for my father be at hand, then I will slay my brother Jacob." He caused Jacob to flee from his father's home, and he also went to Ishmael to learn of him evil ways and to get more wives, as it is said, "Then Esau went to Ishmael and took, besides the wives he had, Mahalat, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebayot, to be his wife." Similarly, when David did not rebuke or chastise his son Avshalom, Avshalom fell into evil ways, seeking to slay his father, sleeping with his concubines, and becoming the cause of David's wandering barefooted and weeping, and of the slaughter of many thousands and tens of thousands of Israelites, as well as other sorrows without end. Also, David treated his son Adoniyahu in a similar fashion, neither rebuking nor punishing him, and therefore he became depraved. In this case, we're explicitly told in the book of Kings, "And his father had not displeased him at any time by saying, 'Why have you done so?' Therefore he also became corrupt." Unquote. The Midrash then draws a parallel between loving parents needing to discipline their children and God needing to discipline Israel when they misbehave. Quote, it says in the book of Proverbs, "But he who loves him disciplines him early." This refers to the Holy One, blessed be he. Because of his love for Israel, he heaps punishment upon them. You will find that the 3 precious gifts which God gave to Israel were all given after much suffering: the Torah, Eretz Israel, and the life to come. The Torah, for it is written in the book of Psalms, Happy is the man whom you chastise, O Lord, and teach out of your law. Eretz Israel, for it is written in the Torah, and you will consider in your heart that as a man chastens his son, so the Lord your God chastens you. And see what it is written after this, for the Lord your God brings you into a good land. The life to come, for it is written in the book of Proverbs, for the commandment is a lamp, and the Torah is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. A father who chastises his son causes the son to love him even more, and he honors him, as it is said, correct your son, and he will give you rest. Yea, he will give delight to your soul, from Proverbs. And it also says, chasten your son, for there is hope. He will increase the son's love for him, for it is said, but he who loves him disciplines him early. Because he disciplines him early, therefore does he love him. Unquote. The Midrash then points out that the patriarchs did discipline the sons who carried Judaism forward. Quote, you will find that Abraham disciplined his son Isaac. It is written, and these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac. The repetition of Abraham teaches you that he was like his father in all things, in beauty, wisdom, riches, and good deeds. Isaac was 37 years old when his father was about to sacrifice him, yet though it says, and Abraham was old and advanced in years, and so Isaac could easily have resisted him, yet Abraham bound Isaac like a lamb, and he did not have to restrain him. Therefore, quote, Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac, unquote, a proof that he who loves him disciplines him early. Similarly, Isaac used to discipline Jacob early, for Isaac taught Jacob Torah and rebuked him in the schoolhouse. As it is said in Genesis, and Jacob was a quiet man dwelling in tents. He learned all that his father taught him, and then separated from his father and secluded himself in the house of Eber to study Torah. Therefore he merited the blessing and inherited the land, as it is said, and Jacob dwelt in the land of his father's sojournings in the land of Canaan. Midrash continues, and Jacob also disciplined his children and taught them his ways, for it is written, now these are the names of the sons of Israel who came into Egypt with Jacob, our portion. They are all compared to Jacob because all of them were as righteous as he was, a proof that he who loves him disciplines him early. Unquote. Now, these texts raise many questions. First, what kind of chastisement, admonition, or punishment are we talking about? Corporal? Non-corporal? Both? Are parents morally responsible when their adult children stray? Is persecution of Jews always to be interpreted as God's punishment for lack of observance? In the Talmuds, Rav ordered Shmuel ben Shila to deal tenderly with the students, to refrain from corporal punishment, or at most to use a shoe strap in correcting pupils for inattention. He added, and if a student does not pay attention, put him next to a diligent student. That's from the Talmud. While there is no blanket ban on hitting one's child, Jewish law over the centuries has substantially reduced its practice. The Shulchan Aruch, or Code of Jewish Law, severely limits instances when a teacher can hit a student. It also says that a parent should not be too demanding of his child and must not hit his adult child. The Ritva, 14th century Spanish sage, recommends that the parent verbally reprimand rather than hit. The Meiri, 13th century Catalan rabbi, calls for dismissing teachers who hit students. He even calls this abuse a peshia, or major offense. Contemporary Rabbi Rabinowitz states that a parent or teacher who hits out of anger and not for educational purposes, or who hits his child harshly, even for educational purposes, has sinned, and one is required by Jewish law to report him to the police. In sum, Judaism teaches that it is much worse for a child to be raised too leniently than too strictly. When a child is raised too leniently, the resulting problems will only be apparent when the child is a young adult, and by that time it is much harder to correct him. Therefore, Jewish law allows a parent to use corporal punishment on a child, but with very stringent caveats. The parent must not be angry, must have calmly decided that this is what the child needs for proper upbringing, must not be too demanding, must not hit his adult child, and must hit very gently. Furthermore, a verbal reprimand must always be tried first and repeatedly. Shabbat Shalom.